usually leads to the burning bed.
I don't get that reference.
That's that movie with Farrah Fawcett where she sets her abusive husband on fire.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I did not. Wow, that's. By the way, I should have told you also, Eric. Kyle is our movie guy. He knows us about every bad movie known to man. So he'll just pull this stuff out sometime that I don't expect.
I see that. I like that though. That's awesome.
This is why I love doing podcasts with him, because he'll just pull these
hell yeah. He's my kind of guy.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So this is normal for us. That's why I'm explain. Explain, please.
Takes the pressure off of you. You can just say, okay, and cue it over to you. Explain this for me.
Sorry, only in that movie the guy was physically abusive.
Well, isn't that why I think it's a Weird Al song where they reference the lady that cut the guy's dick off for cheating on her?
Oh yeah, Dante Bob it.
Isn't it in the Weird Al song? Headline News.
Headline News. Yeah.
I just thought about that. All right. By the way, in the notes here, it says that the statute that under which Dante is fined for selling cigarettes is actually a minor. Is a New Jersey law, but according to Walt Flanagan on the DVD commentary and Kevin Smith, it probably is contestable in the court of law.
Well, I'll tell you right now, when this guy comes in, I was going to say lawyer. I don't know that he's even a lawyer necessarily, but when the guy comes in to serve the papers, I'm like, wait a minute. I want to know who sends their 5-6-year-old daughter into a convenience store by herself, a place where they sell nudie magazines and cigarettes and stuff like that. I mean, where's the kid's parent? There's a certain child neglect or negligence concern here. So, I mean, I'd file a countersuit.
It's a valid point. The funny part is that we were in the scene in question. Randall's distracted, ironically reading High Society. That's the irony of the whole thing. You know, he's so distracted and doesn't even know what's going on that happens. Right. It's a good point, though. You're right. They are selling nudie magazines and everything because he's reading one while she's standing there.
He's probably thinking. He's probably thinking, how could she get into that position?
I think that's later when he actually shows the page to Walt Flanagan later on. I swear, I should put in the description, take a drink every time I bring up Walt's name. The way this show is going. I will not be taking in that, but now there you go. So, according to, I'm just looking a little bit ahead, apparently, I'm trying to figure out how he got the $500 because according to this, it's only a $250 fine.
Well, there was a mention of an increase based on the age of the kid being so young.
That makes sense.
Huh.
Which, again, why would you send your kid into a place like that? And when your kid comes out with a pack of cigarettes, and I think he gave her a pack of matches, too.
And she's smoking one.
What did you send your kid in for in the first place? And then wouldn't you immediately say, what the hell, and go in and throw a fit right there on set? I mean, who just says, okay, I'm not going to go in and deal with the issue. I'm just going to go find a lawyer. And then, within hours, have papers ready to be served. You know how long that takes?
I know. It makes absolutely no sense. But the fact that she was smoking one, which makes it even more ridiculous when you think about it.
Yeah.
Wait, the girl was smoking one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They zoomed in on her smoking a cigarette.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous when you think about it. It was uncomfortable to
Yeah,
watch.
see, there's a whole nother level going on with that parent there.
Wait a minute. Why should I confront them now when I can possibly get some money out of this?
Wow, this feels like he was looking into the future with this scene.
Yeah.
Because that's a now thing you think about. That's kind of a bullshit that happens nowadays.
Right.
Well, is it another one? Is it this whole storyline is ahead of its time?
Yeah.
You know, it kind of is. Yeah. It's surprising when you think about, because this came out. What year did it come out?
1994.
94. Yeah. Wow, I can't believe it's been that long.
I deal with people like that at work who see the extension cord and go, I could trip over this, get some money.
Yep.
And you know what? And that's funny about that is that's actually a real thing that they worry about at Pato now. Because I was actually told when I worked there, make sure you put this What's Floor sign over the extension cord. Because they will intentionally trip on it, and we have to deal with that problem later.
Although, this was stupid. Stupid because she not only says that, she says it on camera.
And out loud.
Yeah.
Inner monologue. Inner monologue. You need one. Well, the kind of inner monologue issue, like in Austin Powers after the defreezing process, where he has his inner monologue and just saying everything randomly out loud for no reason whatsoever.
Well, that later on, Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day! Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day!
Can you tell listening to Austin Powers minute before we recorded this podcast?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, well, everything we had a lot to talk about, but which is actually really nice for a change of pace. I will say, I'll give Eric you the floor. Why don't you plug what you're up to and all the stuff you do? People don't know who you are. Tell everyone what you're doing.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm the net director over at the Random Chatter Podcast Network. We've got a few shows there. We've got our main flagship Random Chatter show. We have Echo Base, which is our Star Wars news and discussion show. We do movie reviews. We've just kind of rebooted the network in a sense, and we've got some new shows that we're going to be launching soon. Most of the people who have followed us for a long time have followed us from back at the Forcecast, which was a Star Wars podcasting network. In association with the Force.net. We were over there for several years, and then we decided to go off on our own. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I don't really do much on social media and stuff like that. Most of what I do is just through Random Chatter.
Well, that's actually, I am one of the people that came over for the Forcecast. So,
yes, you've been with us for a while.
Yeah, I go back to the Forcecast, Erik Blythe days. That's how far back
that goes. Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, way back.
2012, I think.
Yeah, something like that. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. And I actually used to podcast for the Force.net long before the Forcecast was actually a thing. Back in 2005 is when I started podcasting.
Wow.
Before Apple even acknowledged the word podcast. Me and a bunch of other, I was part of a large group of podcasters who were fighting to get Apple to recognize podcasts and support it in iTunes and all that, and then they finally did, and then they kind of pretended that they created the whole thing, and
it's it's funny,
kind of obnoxious.
On my main show, I actually talked to, I think it was Ricky Briganti from Inside the Magic, and he was talking about that, where he started his show before the podcasting became a thing.
Yeah,
and I think it sounds like the same situation here, because that's exactly what they were telling me. He was telling me then. So
yeah, it was a struggle back then, because of course most people. iPods, this is long before the iPhone. iPods were the big thing, and this was, podcasting was a way to automate the collection of those audio files into an iPod to get it so when you pick your iPod up off your dock, you've got all the content. And a lot of us, and it wasn't even really such an organized effort. There were a lot of us that never spoke to one another. There was a large group of people who were trying to push to get Apple to recognize it. And we're like, this is so obvious. This is a selling point for you guys. It's a benefit. And then finally they did. And I remember going into an Apple store once to buy might have been a Mac. I forget what it was I was buying. And I was saying, I do podcasting, so I need to do audio editing. So, oh yeah. Hey, Apple created podcasts.
Oh my God.
And I just wanted to punch the guy in the face. I'm like, dude, at least get your facts straight before you go spouting stuff off like you know what you're talking about.
It's funny because at the same time you did your thing. I know the guys over at like Pro Wrestling Torch, they were doing their thing as well before a podcast became a name. That's actually been part of the selling point for one of their shows.
If I could just interject.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, Apple invented podcasts just like Al Gore invented the internet.
Hey,
exactly.
Al Gore did invent the internet.
Yeah, and Grizzly Adams had a beard.
Grizzly Adams did have a beard.
Thank you, Lee Trevino.
Oh, jeez. Well, on that note, we should wrap this up because we're just going off on tangents now. We could talk about the history of podcasting for hours, but at the same time, we should really wrap this up. I should get my plugs out of the way too for people that don't know all the plugs. Listen to us over on the Filling the Void Podcast Network. Is a podcast network actually hosted out of New Jersey by my buddy, who decides, I want to do a podcast network. Do you want to come on and do shows? And now I run 3 shows on his network. Go figure how that happens. So, we are over there, and we're all over the place. iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. They did not invent podcasting, but they're there. TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, Player FM. I think that's all of them. I'm literally going off the top of my head. I try to see if I can memorize these and get them off the top of my head.
iHeartRadio?
I said that first.
Okay.
iHeartRadio. But everywhere you can find podcasts, you can find us. And you can also find the Blake and Sal Show, my regular main show that I host. I've been doing that for 5 years. And Boy Meets Retrocast, the show that me and Kyle do talking about Boy Meets World. So.
You'll find us everywhere. But just remember, we'll be watching you.
On that note. Thank you, Eric.
Not at all creepy.
not whatsoever. Thank you, Eric, for coming on the show today. This is really a lot of fun.
No, thanks for having me.
No problem whatsoever. And on behalf of Eric, thank you so much for listening to the show. I'm Blake.
I'm Kyle.
Have a good day, everybody.
You're Rick Darris?
Snorting, smoking weed, doing coke, drinking beers.